Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and today's video is a video that I really didn't know if I wanted to make because I understand the topic is not gonna be affecting the vast majority of you guys. Maybe if you are into content creation or you aspire to be a creator, maybe you will find it interesting, but the vast majority simply won't. As you probably can tell, this is not really scripted. I'm just talking off of the top of my head, just getting stuff off of my chest. And a lot of the times I get asked, why don't you have more subs, or why don't you have more views? And first of all, before I get into that, I just want to say that I am very grateful for every single one who supported me. Every single click, every single like, every single comment, I read everything and it means so much to me. It really does. And I couldn't have been here without you. You have to consider that I'm someone who is not on the map. Like Egypt is not on the map. I don't live in a very popular region. I don't run into Prime F, Smug and Punk and be able to even compete in CBT tournaments. Like, I can't do any of that. Yet despite all of this, your support have got me to where I am today, and for that I am really grateful. I understand that there are many reasons as to why I don't have more like views or subs. I speak kind of funny. The accent is heavy for many of the audience to understand. I obviously have a somewhat of an inconsistent like upload schedule, but this is more to do with my personal life right now, because like I do have a full-time job. I'm getting married, like the marriage is next May, so there's a lot of preparation for the venue, the house and everything, obviously, and I do work a full-time job as well, so like fitting in YouTube and streaming and everything is just very difficult. This is the main reason I haven't been able to stream that much lately. Simply I don't have time to do so. I just can't I can't find the time to do that. But obviously, that is just my personal life. It's not really for discussion here. The idea of content creation in general is very interesting, because it's not as much about the actual quality of the content as much as people think. I have seen absolutely amazing videos that don't really get any views or get like very little views, and like a lot of nonsense that gets a ton. And I am one of the very few who is fortunate to have support, but I have seen others who make phenomenal content and they don't really get that much. You have to understand that the biggest deciding factor when it comes to content creation is timing. If you're someone who have been following me for a while, you will probably know that I really got on the map when Capcom put out the Season V balance badge, because I went ham. I started covering V-Shift, the individual character changes. I took a week off from work and I tried to put out content as quickly as possible and try to cover every character, and that is pretty much what got me noticed. And so yeah, timing is a very big deal. When a new game comes out, when a big balance changes happen, that's when there are a lot of returning viewers. That is when there's a lot of eyes searching for content on YouTube and Twitch and all of that, and that is your chance to get known. And obviously, like I said, big new game releases is also a very big event, right? Recently we got two games. We got the King of Fighters 15 and Guilty Gear Strive. And back to the question of why don't you get more views. Something that you have to understand about YouTube is how the algorithm work. When you put out a video, YouTube will start recommending it to others, if it's getting a lot of engagement. So if it is getting a lot of watches, people are watching for a decent portion of the video itself. If it's getting likes, if it's getting comments, all of that stuff will actually make YouTube favor that video, right? And with the King of Fighters 15 and with Guilty Gear Strive, the respective companies SNK and ARC did a quite the traditional business move, and that is that they gave some of the other YouTubers or content creators review copies, right, to make content, or like to make content on the game, right? And this is a win-win for both of these parties. Obviously the creator get easy free views because there is like no one else who's making content for the game, or like very few competition, so they get to catch on the early views, and the company gets free advertisement, or like very cheap advertisements. They're not paying for, they're paying very little for thousands of views, right? It makes sense for both parties, and it's a very traditional obviously business practice. But who get hurt in this process? Well, it's guys like me, right? It's pretty much the smaller content creators that really have to lose from this deal. I've seen a webpage called the Option Select, and it was talking about a YouTuber who pre-ordered the deluxe edition for KOF 15 because he wanted to cover the combo trials and do it like early and catch on the views and everything, because obviously when it comes to KOF, trials are a big deal. But you know what, I mean, that guy pretty much bought the $90 DLC for nothing, or the $90 bundle for nothing, because it has already been covered by others who have review copies. It's unfortunate, but that is the current state. And if I'm being completely honest, when I was doing a lot of the early Guilty Gear Strive, I started noticing this as well. I did a Kai guide because Kai was simply the character I was playing. No one really covered him when the game launched, so I got a lot of eyes because of the Kai guide. And then I did a Giovanna guide, but female characters tend to be really popular early on, especially because they are a lot easier to get views on, especially if you use like a clickbaity title or like sexy thumbnails. You know how it goes, you're around the YouTubes. So I did the Giovanna guide, and even though I did believe that my guide was really good, it got nowhere near as much as Kai, because it was already covered by one of the other content creators who got an early review copy and put out a guide way before the game came out. And this seems to be the case with KOF 15 as well. If you are checking YouTube right now, you know that there are a lot of big channels who have the game already, they're putting out content, and by the time that I get my hands on the game, a lot of the early views will pretty much be gone, or like you will lose on the majority of the early views, which is a lot more impactful than you would imagine, right? If I'm being completely honest, for someone like me who already is like, who already find it difficult as it is right now, it's very demotivating, and I understand that it's not something that it's gonna affect the vast majority of you guys. Just something that I wanted to get off my chest, and I want to make something clear. This is not about Salt. This is not about like me being annoyed. I'm not blaming the company, not blaming the other content creators. It makes sense from business standpoint. It is what it is. It just sucks. I'm gonna be completely honest, it sucks, but it is what it is. And obviously that is a big factor as to why you don't get more views. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon page, the Discord server page, Twitter and Twitch pages in the description below. Thank you very much for watching, and stay safe.